You seem to be following all the principles of the Respect Party. You seem to be singing George Galloway's praises. Why is it that you've diverted to another party? Why could you not join Respect and maybe help his cause then? I mean, for me personally, I'm not making a dig, but this is just it's basically a political move by yourself to hit against the three major parties, to say that it's it's a rise against the party.
Okay, before Dawud answers, I want to ask one final question, Mohammed, before I'm going to have to let you go, because we want to get a couple more calls. Let me ask you one final question.
Okay.
Are you suggesting that Imran Hussein didn't run a good campaign, or ran a good campaign, but was just overwhelmed by the George Galloway personality? Is that what you're saying?
I think it was more of a showbiz, because he had a major persona, hasn't he? He's been on Big Brother, and I know people have used that against him, but it's a major thing to consider.
He's a national figure. Whatever you say about George Galloway, he's a national figure.
He's a celebrity more than a politician.
Exactly, yeah. But Big Brother is also watched more than your local newspapers are read. You understand? So he appeased to a wider audience. But
okay. Thank you very much indeed, Mohammed there from Keighley, who's making some very forthright comments about George Galloway.
I've just got to come back and finish the point that I was making, because I haven't addressed the fact that you say that he was riding the Muslim wave. You know, at the end of the day, George is a white candidate standing for a socialist left-wing party. They are a secular party that stand for equality on the grounds of religion, race, sex or sexual orientation. They are a completely non-religious party.
Why did your party then, or your new party, your new home, put out leaflets which said, God only knows who's a real Muslim, if religion had nothing to do with it?
Exactly.
You pandered to the Muslim vote in that election.
I think if you look at an individual election, you can't say that George should ignore a section of the public that makes up 40% of a particular seat.
The question's not about reaching out to the Muslim vote or any of the community.
On issues.
The fact is, on the issue, the leaflet that was put out, attacking Imran Hussein, saying God knows who's a Muslim.
Precisely.
You were playing up to the Muslim vote.
Yeah.
I think
and also bringing the personal issues on that. On the drink issue and that, I think running away from the
there was nothing on any leaflet about Imran's drinking habits, and I don't know anything about them, and I'm not going to comment on them. But it would have been completely inappropriate to comment on them anyway, because he's legally entitled to do that. He's a British citizen living in the UK. If he wants to drink alcohol, then I support his right to do it, and I don't have any problem with that.
Okay, let's go to Bradford and talk to Ibra. Before we do that, Tony Rayman says Paul for Prime Minister. He says Imran Hussein assassinated him. Ishaq Ali is saying Imran Hussein assassinated himself. George Galloway didn't need to do a thing. Sorry, lots. You agree with that?
No.
Oh, you just said yes.
No. I'm just saying that the comments you're making. I'm just.
Oh, right. I thought you said yes. I agree with that. I thought, wow. Okay, let's go to Ibra. Ibra, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam.
Yes, brother. What would you like to say?
A question from Dawud Islam, please.
You want to question him, or you want to put a question to him?
Question for him.
Okay. Yeah, please go ahead.
Is he a Muslim?
I am indeed, yes.
So why won't George Galloway be blatant like you and say he's a Muslim? Is he a Muslim or not?
I think that's something that you'll have to ask George.
Okay, thank you very much, Ibra. I'm sure when George Galloway gets some time off, he's going to come back to my channel, and we're going to do a special show with him. And I'm sure if you want to ring in on that show and ask George Galloway what his
I'll just say we're
he refuses to answer the question because he says faith is very personal to him and private.
Yeah.
Only thing he will say is that he's a man of faith.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's entitled to do that. As I keep saying, we're a secular, non-religious party. We welcome people of all faiths and none. If we were his Tahrir, it would be an issue whether he was a Muslim or not. But we're not with a Respect Party, so we don't ask questions about what people's religions are, and we don't care.
You feel that George Galloway manipulated the Muslim vote to vote for him on those personal issues you raised about Imran Hussein's personal...
The point was made early on, Shafiq, and I said he's more of a celebrity than a politician. Now, if he was standing for issues, and if he was standing for the communities...
Well, he's been an MP for 23 years, so...
Why, I'm talking about when he was stood in Battle Green and he moved away from there, why? Why desert the people of Battle Green? Why coming... And I tell you, I'm saying this publicly, you make note of the time and the date. He will not be standing from Bradford West in 2015.
Okay, let me just ask you one more question before we go to Shazad, who's joining us from Bradford. Can I ask you, I was in Bradford West, I saw the leaflets, I saw the speeches delivered by your candidate, appealing to people to vote for him because he was a Pakistani candidate, he was a Muslim candidate, and it was time to have a strong Muslim Pakistani voice in Parliament. So you were as guilty as a Respect Party in pandering to Muslims and pandering to Pakistanis.
I think
that's your campaign.
Let's make it clear. I'm a Labour candidate. I'm standing for the Labour Party policies, but at the same time,
that was your campaign.
At the same time, my role is to fight for equality within the Labour Party, which I'm doing.
You're twisting it.
No. I'm just saying.
You've been a very good politician, I have to say tonight.
Is it true or is it not true that your candidate actually said what my friend just said?
Listen. I'm not.
I'm sure
the truth.
Because I'm telling you the truth. I've not read the leaflet. I was in Keighley. I'm Keighley Central. It was a Bradford West.
So you
election.
didn't go out in Bradford West?
I did support
him.
Did
you go out
I did support
doors?
him. Yes, but on issues. On asking people.
But the rest of the Labour Party were running a campaign, vote for him because he was a Pakistani, vote for him because he was a Muslim.
We were saying to
so
the
voters... you can't accuse George Galloway of pandering to Muslims when you're doing it yourself.
We were asking people to vote if you
want him because he was a Pakistani.
No,
come on, Khadim.
No, to vote if you want to make a difference, you need to vote for the Labour Party because it's the party which will bring the change.
No, with respect, I have to say, I was on the doorstep, I'm talking to people, talking to some of your candidates, your canvassers and people out there, the campaigners were telling me, and the leaflets that I saw, and we can produce them if you want, were saying vote for him because he's a Pakistani and vote for him because he's a Muslim. Let's go to Shazad, and you know, Respect for doing exactly the same thing, so it's politics. Shazad from Bradford, good evening, Shazad.
Hello, how are you guys? You okay?
I'm good, go ahead, what would you like to say?
Yeah, well, just a quick question to the Labour representative. It's more, to be honest, I think Labour was pretty much a ticking time bomb in Bradford waiting to set off. Now, couple of things. The Labour representatives, I mean this Imdad Hussain, I mean, I have no idea how he ended up being a councillor. I mean, I don't want to go into the nitty-gritty, but I mean, your chap there for Labour, he's not condemning or said anything against the chap. If anything, he's appraising him that he needs to defend himself. Now, I mean, this guy, I mean, you know, you can't string a sentence of English together. He was, back in the days, representing Bradford. I mean, I've got 3 children, and to see such a person representing a certain area of Bradford is concerning. Now, the people watching, obviously,
sorry,
I'm a local representative.
Shazad, can I stop you for a second? Who are you talking about here? Are you talking about Khadim or are you talking about Imran Hussain?
Imdad Hussain.
All right, you're talking about the former Labour candidate in Bradford West.
Yeah.
He's talking about Imdad Hussain.
Oh, talking about Imdad. It's hard to keep up with all these Hussains.
It's not the same clan, I can tell you that.
Sorry, say again, Shazad?
No, I said it's a good job we've got rid of those Hussains, put it that way.
Well, I'm still here, my friend, and I'm hoping to come back.
Well, I hope you do a good job, because like I say, I mean, you know, everyone's kind of singing praises for George Galloway, and to be honest, they've, you know, I'm totally with them, because I mean, if anything, I mean, the first positive move was getting rid of this Imdad Hussain, because you know, this chap, like I say, shouldn't have been a councillor in the first place.
Well, I think you've been a bit unfair, Shazad. He's got a right to a fair
This is what I was saying.
process.
Well, guys, I mean, this, you know, the person, you know, who he associates with, the people he associates with, and what he's about. I mean, it's just, I mean, I'm a local person in Bradford, and seeing what they're about, it's very kind of concerning as a parent to see such a person represent an area of Bradford.
I think it's really unfair.
Unfair to dwell on
on this because.
No, why is it unfair? I mean, you know, you need to kind of nobody.
If you let me tell you, Shazad, I think it's unfair because Imdad Hussein's not here to defend himself.
Precisely.
And so
well, he's not, but I think your chance.
Okay, thank you, Shazad. I'm going to have to cut you off there because. He's not here to defend himself, and I hope that at some stage in the future, if he's watching this, I'm sure Khadim will go back and say he's got an open platform to come and talk about his issues, but obviously I don't think he's going to be talking until after the Labour Party finished their inquiry. And so it's unfair for us to comment about a councillor or an individual when that person hasn't got
the right. It just shows, though, that people are concerned about the general malaise in the standards of people that are putting themselves up for public office. I think I'm right in saying, I don't think he's with Mr. Councillor Hussein's party, but correct me if I'm wrong, there was actually a Keighley councillor, I believe, a town councillor, that was... Was it an actual district councillor that was in prison for stealing money from Keighley Rugby Club recently? You know,
that was town councillor.
Yeah, town councillor. Yeah. So there are instances across the political spectrum, and people are fed up. They want people that are actually honest and are going to do the things that they say they're going to do, and not trying to embezzle funds or use it for personal grandisement or because it will look good, you know, with the family back home in Kashmir or wherever.
Yeah. Paul Brown, I mean, does it make you feel uncomfortable that the Labour Party were running a campaign based on race and religion, and Mr. Galloway's party were accused of the same?
That's politics, isn't it? Let's face it. Everybody can say this, that and the other. But one thing what sticks in my mind more than anything is when you saw George Galloway pretending to be a cat on major television and licking out of a tin with a lady half naked.
Okay, well,
I thought, well, no, let me say, because
well, come on,
that to me.
As much as I like to listen about what George Galloway got up to on Big Brother, it's just
the same. It's exactly the same as what you were saying about the candidate in Bradford. Exactly the same, except on a different scale.
Different scale. Okay, I've got time to take a couple of more quick calls. So if you want to get in touch with the 401. Sorry, in touch with the show, it's 01254 277 370. If you want to talk about Imdad Hussain, we're not going to talk about Imdad Hussain. He's not here to defend himself. And I'm sure if I was in that situation, if somebody was making comments about me, and I was there to defend myself.
I'm sorry to say that. You know, we were here to actually, other district councillors.
Yes.
How are we going to focus on local issues?
Yes, but
now, unfortunately,
the fact is that you've stood on a platform tonight and saying that. If your education standards don't improve in your ward, you won't stand again.
But what I'm saying to you is, what you have said to my opponents there, what are they standing for? What difference will they make if they are being elected? To me, an iota difference will be made. I'm saying to you is, you need to come back. I fully understand the calibre of the candidates.
I just want to tell our viewers, we were hoping to take a few more calls, but we're going to close the lines now because I really want to come back to our candidates and really get final comments from them in the show. So thank you so much for your calls. We've had loads of calls tonight. We've had loads of messages on the phone, on Twitter, on Facebook. There's some more coming through. I will promise. Let's get through one of them. Imran Iqbal says, if Galloway put the matter of faith into his campaign, the point George Galloway was making is that if others are using the fact that they are Muslim and that Muslims should vote for them in Bradford, he has done more for the Muslim cause than any others. So he can't use that point against him. Please put this point forward, Mr. Shafiq. I certainly did, Imran Iqbal. Thank you for your comment. Sorry, Paul, you were saying.
What?
About Big Brother.
Are we winding up now?
No, we're just talking. Yeah, we're coming towards the end. I just wanted to get your views about, you know, what happens now for the Liberal Democrats, both locally and nationally.
Right. I'm glad you've got to that now locally, because this is what I thought this was all about. But it's gone up on national issues, but that's beside the point. I come from Darwin, as you know, which is part of the borough of Blackburn. But we haven't got the same clout as what they have here in Blackburn. And that's why the Liberals in Darwin do well, because they stand up for what they want in Darwin. Not what we have in Blackburn, but in Darwin. And that's what we're there for. And the people of Darwin will vote for the Liberal Democrats candidates in Darwin because they do a damn good job locally for the people. Precisely. That's what it's for. And that's what we're there for. I don't know about my other two colleagues here because I don't know their areas, what they represent. But anybody, I don't care where you go, will say that majority of the Liberal Democrats who are elected in this borough and in the town council in Darwin really do work for the people they represent.
Okay. Okay, let's get through some of these comments. Imran Iqbal again says, Mohammed from Keithley, what do you think Muslims in Bradford are so naive that we can be manipulated to please give us some credit. It's an insult to our intelligence. We voted for many different issues. Muslims are all individuals. Furqan Ahmed said, George Galloway will trend all over the country. Somebody else says, why does it matter if George Galloway is Muslim? Well said, Dawud Islam. Why